Hello everyone. For my second activity, I decided to expand upon the classroom discussions and focus on Socratic Seminars. So Socratic Seminars, what's expected? What is the purpose of Socratic Seminars? Socratic Seminars help students to learn how to effectively communicate and express their learning. Discussions help to support students' social and emotional development, and every student has a voice and contributes to the conversation. With our setup, students will be both participators as well as audience members when it's not their turn. Two-circle discussion. What is it? Every student will be assigned a partner and will be numbered off accordingly, as partner A and partner B. A's will go first in the discussion and will sit in the inner circle. B's will sit directly behind their partner in the outside circle. A students will participate in their discussion for 10 minutes and then they will have a 3-minute break / coaching session with their partner. B's will give their partners advice, constructive criticism, and praise for how they performed in the discussion. A's will return to the inner circle and continue the discussion where they left off for another 10 minutes. After the timer is up, A's will then switch places with B's and do the same exact thing. So here is an example of how how Socratic seminars play out.
In a sense, to become to our nation's capital to cash our debt so they can have freedom and new rights.
Okay, class, we're going to do a Socratic seminar today on the I Have a Dream speech. You all have your speeches. Remember to be insightful with your questions. It does not matter. Remember, you're not talking to me. You're talking to your classmates. Outside circle, you guys have the fire seat. You want to say something or have a burning question? Get it? Burning question. You all can come on in and kind of change the conversation or ask that question that you have. Okay, so whoever has a question, whatever you're analyzing, go ahead.
We had a little bit of trouble with number 21. I thought it had a lot of metaphors in it. This is our hope, this is the faith with which I return to the South. I didn't really get that.
Maybe he's kind of making the metaphor for, like, during the Civil War, like, the South, there's slavery, and then, like, maybe in the North, there was, like, a lot more people didn't agree with slavery.
And then with this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair the stone of hope.
It's kind of like saying, like, right now they're trapped in a cave of slavery, and they want to get out and go to the stone of hope.
Think about this. What about paragraph 22? So this goes to the hilltop. What does the hill represent? I think you guys have some really good metaphors, but I want you guys to look at paragraph 22. This will be the day of all our God's children will be able to sing with a new meaning.
If you're looking on like a mountaintop, there's a circle, and it represents the ring of the mountain.
Keep going.
I agree with Caitlin because, like, in like essence, like, because like you could hear it, like it ring, it's like echoes. They can hear it. I think that he's trying to say that the whites are on the top and the African Americans are on the low bottom because probably like they don't have their real rights to get to let them be able to get to the top where they're white.
I kind of disagree, because, like, I think that the mountain or the peak means, like, activity in where they are giving the speech, and from a ring, they want it to echo out, from the echo being changing discrimination out into the rest of the country.
use mountains a lot. Like, it could be like feudalism where the kings were at the top and then it would rank down by person. Or maybe
And
black
like white
people,
people at the
yeah,
top.
and then black people could be at the bottom because the mountain could represent the triangle.
That.
Yell hilltop, it would echo. So freedom echoes all over.
Like from Colorado to California to Georgia to Tennessee to Mississippi.
So that was an example of the Socratic seminar and the two circles that I discussed. So what are the learning objectives? The learning objectives are to develop original thoughts, demonstrate active listening skills, generate appropriate questions to ask during a discussion in order to demonstrate listening and comprehension, utilize excerpts to further your analysis, demonstrate critical thinking and analysis of the text, come up with goals to look for in the other group when you're an audience member, and come up with goals for yourself to meet during discussion. How to succeed in class discussion. Remember, the goal of critical thinking is to examine your own assumptions and evidence, not just to criticize the thinking of others who disagree with you. Make sure you come to the class prepared to dive into the text. This includes bringing annotations of the reading with you. Participate. Always try to include your voice in the conversation. This includes asking questions of clarification or even chiming in that you agree or disagree and why you think this way. Think of advice to give to your partner after their discussion session has finished. Socratic seminar questions. The quality of the learning in a Socratic seminar rests on the kinds of questions asked. Ask questions to which there are no right or wrong answers. Regularly ask why and how do you know, and why is this important, to help participants expand their thoughts and responses. How to be an effective listener. Pay attention. Give the speaker your undivided attention. Provide helpful feedback. Show that you're listening. Use your own body language and gestures to show that you are engaged. Nod, smile, and use other facial expressions. Assert your opinions respectfully. Types of questions you can ask in a Socratic seminar, and then these examples are based on Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Close-ended questions are questions that will help everyone come to agreement about the events or characters in the text. This question usually has a correct answer. So the example is, why is Ender considered a third? So we kind of want to stay away from these because, again, we're trying to ask questions that don't really have a right or wrong, but they can be asked to provide clarification. Open-ended questions are an insightful question that requires proof, insights, and group discussion to discover or explore the answer. So an example is, why does Ender feel sympathy toward the buggers? This is kind of what we're more looking for with Socratic seminars. World connection questions. A question that connects the text to the real world. Example, why would it be possible for students today to have similar influence on local, national, or world events via the internet as Peter and Valentine had as Locke and Desmothenes? Types of questions continued. Universal theme / core question. A question that deals with a theme or themes of the text that will encourage group discussion about its universality. So the example would be, what do you think needs to happen for the human race to unite and end war? Literary analysis questions are questions about the author's style and how he or she uses literary techniques. This is word choice, dialogue, description, characterization, setting, symbols, plot, point of view, etc. in the story. So example is, how does Orson Scott Card use point of view to allow his reader to know what Ender is thinking and also what others think of him? So for the seminar, after all students have read the text, the discussion will begin. Students will alternate into the role of leader, and each student is expected to contribute to the discussion with at least one response, one question, and one detail from the text. After the seminar and writing, respond to the following set of questions. What is the most important theme of the story? Describe at least 3 different instances of the theme and how it transforms the character, setting, or plot. What lesson do you think this theme is meant to teach? Do you agree with the point of view offered by the author? So these post-seminars are kind of important because it wraps up everything kind of in a neat bow after the discussion, and it just keeps students on track and allows them to have reference to help them with the next discussion. So let's get discussing.